Crusader.
Hey, new careers. Nice.
And I put us live because you started talking about Ironclaw.
Awesome. Okay.
Is that set the queue? As soon as I start on Ironclaw, we go live?
We're just circling the drain, the target.
Hey, about 20 minutes in, I gotta hit some point.
Makes sense. Okay. Cool. Well, hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to podcast number 2, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. It's a good way to warm up. Like, I roll out of bed not wanting to talk about anything to anyone, and then I come here and Rafferty is mid-rant on something about modern RPG design, and, like, it gets the blood pumping, so I like it.
Another thing that's wrong with everything you like.
Everything.
Right. So, yeah. So, but hey, we're not here to argue RPGs. That's Friday. We're here to play an RPG, which is... Ironclaw 2nd Edition. We're playing The Shade's Tale. It is a game where we pretend to be animals trekking across a medieval fantasy scape, trying to do good, or to survive, or to occasionally rescue orphans. Or what?
Or kill Noah Baker.
Or kill big bads. Which, yes, we haven't seen much from him in a bit. Maybe today we'll change that. I can't spoil anything, so... But we should probably start with where we left off last, and then we'll go and introduce our characters, and and get this going.
I can't wait for that reveal where you guys go into the secret grotto, and then there's, a luterist, a goblin, and Della Vega.
Exactly, just like, aha! You've fallen right into my trap.
But he's also disarmed and just very grumpy about it.
Yeah, right. They took my boot dagger. So where were we last time? Last time you finally got yourselves out of the Rothos Mountains, a frigid hellscape full of angry goat men and sadistic boar barons. You guys managed to deliver a lost, wandering Chevernese child to his tribe, for which they were grateful, and they expressed that by not instantly murdering you. In fact, they even let you negotiate payment in the form of a couple old funky rations. So you guys took those rations and you trekked west out of the mountains towards the quiet, sleepy town of Verbum. Where did you guys go? There's a tiny town here on the map. Now I can't see it.
We've traveled down to the Polynesian monastery after hitting Septigus Sand.
No, it was Vasquez, which I can't see because it's being hidden by our trail path.
Oh, yeah, there it is, yeah.
Right? And then, yes, you guys got out of the mountains, grabbed a boat downriver, thanks to Adris, who is a smooth talker. You managed to hitchhike on a boat down to the Polynesian monastery. And then you guys we have to update this token, because you decided that rather than trying to get a boat to go upriver, you would go overland towards the sacred forests, hills of the Lutara Grove. Again, this is not the actual Lutara Grove, but you know that it's somewhere in this large stretch of sacred land that is sacred to the blessed, the mists, the hierarchs of the Doloro people. And, let's see, the reason you were in the mountains to begin with was to rescue Colette, who was a friend who had become a hostage as she was trying to travel through Doloro-controlled areas, and you did rescue her. She was on that mission to find out what became of her boyfriend and great love, Harmon, who, as you know, has now been fallen twice and is in the... once again returned to the lands of the goblins as a prisoner. And Colette agrees to travel with you because she wants to see the site where he was last taken, and she's still kind of looking for him. So she is along for this ride. You guys managed to find the spot where Connor and Harmon last fought with the hierarchs. And when you arrived there, goblins showed up. They said that Connor is an enemy of the hierarchs because he was involved in this assassination attempt alongside Harmon. And that the rest of the party could leave, but Connor could not. He would have to stay and fight. And Connor said, well, listen, I I regret my actions and I want to parlay. I want to apologize. And so the goblin said, okay, if you throw down all of your arms and take off all of your armor, you can come with us and we will bring you to see the hierarchs. And the rest of the party decided they were going to. Colette wants to speak with these hierarchs, and everyone else is along for the ride. So you left all of your weapons and armor with Potter by the creek, and you were led deeper into the forest by one of these goblins. I think that is all the important stuff. So, yeah, that's where we are going to pick up. But before we do that, let's go through and introduce our characters, their mottos, and their outstanding goals. And we can start with Theta.
Yeah, sorry. Always when I'm messing with overlay.
Sorry.
Adrisgar, Gorilla, Dilettante, Bod, Rake, leader of the Achromic Gang, personality proud, motto by strength and guile, and my current goal, return Colette to Harmony.
Cool. Next up, we've got Arkloyd.
Hello, I'm Mark Lloyd. I play Connor Lavere de Ecravis, the Brazen Raccoon Knight. His motto is one hand washes the other, and he also has a goal of returning Colette to Harmony.
All right, and we also have with us Griffin.
Hey everybody, I'm Griffin, and I'm playing the anonymous Armadillo Almoner, who also happens to be Saint William now. First, do no harm, second, get paid.
All right. And last but not least, we've got Rafferty.
Oh, hey. Yes. Hello, world. I'm Norman Rafferty, he, him. I'm playing Anushka, the Microbat Messenger, where my motto is know no fear and serve with joy.
Okay. So, you guys, this band, including Colette, the Boar Abbess, or former Abbess of Harmony, and Potter is the Porcupine who's staying back with all the gear. And I'm just trying to think, because I have a bad habit of forgetting about NPCs, but I think that's everyone you've got with you right now. Unless you guys are traveling with more irregulars that I've forgotten about.
All my regulars gone. All I have is Winter, my ally.
I don't think we picked up any new ones.
There. Cool. Yeah. Okay, excellent. So, as you guys follow this goblin, and these goblins, again, are strange. They're described as having the bodies of wolves, but the beaks and wings of ravens, covered in black feathers. And they are sort of flitting and hopping from branch to branch above your heads and leading you deeper and deeper into this eerie forest. Those of you without a knack for this kind of thing, or Dead Reckoning knowledge of the land, can tell that without guides, it would be very easy to get lost in this place. Even as forested areas go, there are a lot of the terrain is not flat; it's very hilly, which makes it difficult to keep track of things. Your sight lines are constantly covered in foliage. You're creeping through gullies and climbing over rock formations. And after what seems to be at least an hour of travel, you come across a small opening, a clearing in the trees. In the center of the clearing, there is a shallow pool. It looks to be a fountain, although its construction does not really make sense to you. And standing on the far side of the fountain, you can see that there are 3 women, all of them adorned in various foliage, basically decoration, indicating that they belong to different paths, paths which take after the different trees that can be found across Calabria. And flanking each of these women are 2 well-built guards, or I forget the term that we had for them, but they're sort of sacred paladins of the blessed.
Hexenhammers?
What are they called?
Hexenhammers.
Yeah. So yes, and these guys, you can always recognize them because they wear a peculiar armor made of hard wood that almost looks as if it had been grown around their bodies in ways unnatural. But But yes, very interesting kind of armaments. So as you approach this pond, the goblins will alight in the trees. You can count at least 3 of these goblins perched above you as well. And from across the pond, one of the women, the one in the center, will greet you and say, so, the assassin has come to speak. What do you have to say for yourself, selling these sacred grounds? And when she says this, it's clear that she is addressing Connor.
Well, our nations may be at war, but that does not excuse my actions. I've come to make amends for what I have done, to show my contrite heart.
All right. She looks a little bit skeptical, and you can feel a great degree of scrutiny from the 3 women. First on you, Connor, and then you can see that they are also sizing up the rest of your party. How do you guys want to present yourselves? Connor, you've made this statement. The rest of you, and I'm only asking again because this is this is a world that's sort of founded on classes, right? Knowing your place, knowing how to show deference or when to show dominance. So I'd like to go around and just get a read for everyone how they feel in this moment. And why don't we start? Why don't we start with Theta?
I got left behind.
Oh, you're not going with them. Adris and Winter are staying with the gear?
No, yeah, I was saying, we got left behind. When everybody separated to go off to do that thing, we were left behind on the other side of the river, or wherever we left our stuff.
And I believe you're staying with Potter, particularly, too, because that was his goal, too.
Yeah, somebody else got stuff here, too. Specifically, we got divided.
Gotcha. Okay, I did not realize that, so that was good. Good that I asked.
So yeah, pan back to them being bored.
Exactly, just like throwing rocks at in the water. I imagine Potter is trying to look like a royal guard, basically. He's just standing next to this pile of gear, stock straight, glancing around, looking for any signs of movement, and then I got to imagine that Adris is just like, I don't know, throwing rocks at the back of his head. But yeah, okay, so back to the clearing. Okay, let's start with, well, I'll start, because Colette is definitely with you guys, and Colette has fallen to her knees and is, has bowed her head. It almost looks like in prayer. But she certainly feels that she should show deference in this moment. But, what is the doctor doing?
The doctor's being friendly and respectful. He sort of like tries to wave to people please recognize. But what he's doing is he's still trying to keep a serious aura to himself. He's here because he respects them, he cares about them, and he's trying to also back up Sir Connor here and give him some support. So he's like over his right-hand shoulder, just kind of whispering, "Don't forget about the ransom for Harmon."
I like it. Okay, cool. And Anushka, how is Anushka treating this moment?
I'm a professional servant because I can keep my hands at my sides, my head down, and my eyes demurely down. I have low profile.
Okay, so they barely even noticed that you were there.
That's my favorite line from the Three Musketeers. Like, sir, your ticket says 1 person, and you have 2 with you. He says, "That's not a man. That's a servant."
I love it. Okay, cool. Well. All right, so it seems like everyone is kind of like staying, being unobtrusive, and this is really seems to be going on between Connor and this hierarch. So after a moment's consideration, Connor, she seems to judge that your intentions are true, but that does not soften her overall impression of the situation. She says that you come here disarmed and looking for something. However, you have broken our most sacred laws. You have shed blood. within the confines of this sacred land. And for that, well, forgiveness comes slowly. Do you speak for your comrades when you ask for this? What is it that you hope to gain from us?
I hope to gain freedom for myself and my allies, including one Harmon Tordero, who traveled with me and was captured in the siege of the Grove.
The siege of the Grove, I like that. Yes. You can see that Colette has glanced up at you at the mention of Harmon's name and is now looking back between you and the hierarch. She's very interested in what happens next. This hierarch will tell you that for your friend, your companion, the other assassin, he was dealt with. He has not been killed. However, we could see the marks of servitude to the goblin lords upon him. And we, well, rather than shed his foul blood and defile our sacred land, we decided to return him from whence he came. We struck a bargain with the Morigna, and she gestures to the goblins above your head, and she says they gladly returned him, and for their price, for our price, we enlisted them to help in the defense of our lands. In fact, so for your friend, I would say forget him. He is a lost cause, and no one comes back from that place. But certainly, if there is a way, we do not know of it.
Well, he's already come back from that place once. He may again.
One of the other hierarchs lets out a chuckle and then stifles it as the other two kind of glare at her. But it is a fair point. So the speaker for the group says, this may be true. Your friend is certainly strong-willed. To rise against the chosen of Lutara indicates great strength and also great foolishness. I would not follow in his footsteps, even if there is a chance. But again, I am not you. If you are determined to, then perhaps you should return to the Phalon territories. Find a druid. They would be the ones to speak to. But I would say that I would caution you that path lies great danger and almost certain death. To which Colette will pipe up. I'm sorry, you faced both before. Colette will turn to you, Connor, and she'll say, surely you have spoken with druids before. You all have traveled to Phalon, so that is where we must go now. She seems like suddenly her mind is made up, and she's ready to begin marching immediately away from this gathering west back towards the lands of the Bisclavre. Are you guys going to let her go? She's just marching out of here.
Yeah, I was like sitting there thinking, like, wow, okay, well, it's time to let her go, right? She technically doesn't report. Well, she doesn't report to any authority that I work with, and she definitely doesn't report to me.
Please, at least stay with us and let us protect you on this journey. You've been captured once before by agents of the enemy, and I will not see you captured again.
Okay. She says, yeah. She says, you can come with me if you wish. But you've already done so much. You need not risk yourselves for this as well. I'll be more careful this time, essentially, right? Like, there's not much she can say in this situation. She already tried this once, it went badly for her, and there's nothing that has changed, really, that would indicate it would not go badly again. But again, she's not a selfish person. She doesn't want to involve you guys.
I have a debt to make up with Harmon. I would certainly wish to accompany you on this quest.
Oh, right, yeah. And she is going to bow her head and take your hand in her hands in a show of gratitude. She says, "A truer knight I have never met in my time." And as this scene is going down, basically, one of the hierarchs is going to like clear their throat from the other side of the clearing and say, "There is still the matter of your transport through our lands, and that of your crimes. We have not yet deemed you innocent of your transgression, Sir Connor."
Of course.
So this is maybe a little bit retroactive, because I think you already made your statement and made your case, and I think you did a really good job of it. But I'm not sure exactly if they're going to buy it or how they're going to take it, which is why I think this is a good opportunity to make a roll. So, if you wouldn't mind, Connor, why don't you give me a, let's say a will and negotiation. This is sort of like, I would also take presence in this case, actually, because you are just sort of trying to, like, present yourself to a group in this case.
All right. This is where my mere D8 negotiation is going to bite me in the butt.
I would say
I'm
also
going to throw my personality in on this.
Okay. I would say this would also I don't know. Do you think this would be a good case for etiquette? I feel like you do have it.
Best taste to be brazen.
True. We could count that as my etiquette die.
Okay.
We are doing an official talk of some sort here.
Right? Like, it might not map 1-to-1. Although, wait, do you have Cosmopolitan?
Yes.
Oh, then it totally could, because Cosmopolitan specifically lets you use those kinds of cultural gifts across cultures. So yes, totally throw in your etiquette. And because this is a negotiation and you rolled a 1, do you still have the favored use with negotiating with women? Because these are women.
I do.
So there you go.
Your entire life is led up to this day.
Damn.
Yeah, okay.
The only thing I can offer is the extra assist dice from the doctor here, just in the background, going, come on, we're all friends here.
Well,
come on.
If that's not enough, I could still roll personality.
I thought you already did.
We agreed to let the D12 I rolled count for etiquette instead.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, you do have
you want
one
me
success.
to roll that separate, I can and let the personality die stay what it was.
I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. Because that way you don't have to tap your personality if you don't want to. So currently you have one success, and it's up to you if you think that's if you think that's enough. If you are comfortable there, then.
Well, if this were a negotiation stunt, it would be the highest die that matters. So I do want to get a higher result than 6. So I think I will tap my personality.
You know, you raise a good point. I should probably end up rolling for these hierarchs, because they do have stat blocks, and what's the point of making a stat block if you're not going to use it?
And it failed me.
They listen to your negotiation and they attack. Roll
Here we go. Mist of Lutera. Bam. What are these guys? Packing. We'll mind the 10s. And I guess this would kind of be like an inquiry. So I think they'd be pretty good at that. We'll roll 2d10 and see if... And it's a tie. All right. Because it's a tie, I would say, Connor, can you think of any kind of gesture of goodwill that you could make in this moment that would tip the odds in your favor? I love Harmon speaking from beyond the grave in the text chat here.
He could agree to do a quest of contrition for them.
What grave?
Sorry, from beyond the veil, from the goblin lands. Very true. Yeah, all right. So Connor, you're going to offer your services to them in some way to make amends for what had happened. All right. Okay, a light smile will touch on the lips of this negotiating hierarch, and she says, while your deeds mark you as your assassin, the way you carry yourself and your words suggests that you are more than that, perhaps even one worthy of the title of knight. We have such a mission, something that one who is trustworthy and honorable could carry out on our behalves. And perhaps that one is you. She's going to snap her fingers, and one of the hexenhammers by her side is going to reveal what looks to be a scroll case. It's not very large, and it has a seal on it in wax that has a large tree motif on it. You could guess this might be the sacred tree that represents Lutara, sort of the divine feminine that the Luterists worship. One of the hexenhammers will cross the clearing and will hand it to you while this hierarch explains. She says, as you can see, we have allied ourselves with the goblins. Even now, they raid your countrymen's camps and outposts. Already, your lands are stained with blood at the hands of these creatures. But we are not interested in the politics of your war. All that matters to us is, are the sacred lands of Lutara. This is a treaty. We would have you bring it to your Archduke. It suggests a truce that no avoirdupois soldier, no war should touch these sacred groves, these locations, which are indicated on a map. And should your Archduke agree to these terms, then we will use our Fianna, the goblins, only in defense of Doloro territory. We will no longer spread any more violence unbidden towards your men and your countrymen. Right? She says that should you deliver this message and should our words fall favorably on your Archduke's ears, you could save the lives of many, many of your brave countrymen. Are you up to this task?
It would seem that I would be honored bound to do so, not only for my promise to you, but for my duty to my king and country.
This answer pleases her, and she nods. She says, in that case, you have our permission to cross through this forest and be on your way. So long as you have learned the lesson that the hierarchs and Lutara's blessed grounds are not to be sullied or defiled. Take nothing, no forage, and do no harm as you pass through here. And you will leave unscathed.
The matriarch, if you do not wish your lands to be polluted, I would suggest not allowing such foul creatures as goblins within them. They desire nothing above violence, and they will surely corrupt your sacred lands.
there is a very offended caw uttered from one of these Fion from the trees above your head. And the hierarchs say, we believe in balance, and we believe in the laws of nature. And we understand that good and evil are perceptions. At times, we must ally ourselves with those who can help our cause, and in this case, these goblins are such creatures. They are duty-bound, and that deserves our respect. I understand that you may have that your perspective may be clouded by your experience, by the tales of your countrymen, but and I suppose we appreciate your concern, but currently I would worry more about your own safety and the safety of those you hold dear, now that the goblins have allied themselves with our cause.
You will forgive me for taking heed of your own safety.
I shall accept the gesture in the spirit in which it was given. Now, is there anything else that you wish to say before departing our lands?
That is all.
She nods, and she's going to gesture. She says, this one will help lead you back to the path, and the goblin that caught at you will shake his wings. A single black feather will dislodge and float down, and after a moment, he will turn and he will take off. The hierarchs will turn their backs on you and recede into the woods, while the hexenhammers kind of stay there vigilantly watching you and your every movement until you depart. After you have put enough distance between yourselves and the hierarchs, Colette will say, I realize that this is important to you, but I am serious. I do intend to go and find what became of Harmon. I'll locate a druid, and I don't expect you to come with me. All of you have already done so much.
I'm trying to think here about what to say. I'm sorry.
No pressure. I should also say at this point that I'll offer you the official goal here of delivering. Let's see how to word it. Let's say
become traitors to the Avidois.
Betray everything we stand for.
Wait, we stood for something?
Well, some of us did.
Whoa, look at us. I'm going to say deliver the blessed scroll.
You're
Or
right.
blessed... We'll say scroll.
Remember
That
how
sounds good.
Anushka almost got arrested that one time that she was delivering that letter to your home? Yeah, I assume this is going to go off quite as well.
Hey, I
Yeah.
didn't make a scene because I would rather resolve things without bloodshed first. Plus, also, I didn't have you guys with me.
Yeah, I think
So-
they were trying to arrest Connor, but you were delivering the lesson.
Yeah, they wanted to. Well, I could tell they didn't want to arrest me. It was like, it was like, oh yeah, you're a trap for somebody else. Well, bye.
Yeah, you just got out of there.
Yeah, sorry, they sent me, the person you actually can't catch and don't want to.
I don't know. I'm just sniffing that subplot that happens so often where we might be delivering a message of peace, and somebody who wants the war to continue is probably going to come after us.
But you see, the scroll's actually a bomb.
Well, no, I mean more like I don't know. Maybe De La Vega and Triskellion really wants this war between the Avidois and the Doloro to continue, because maybe Triskellion has some sort of hand in this, that there's a benefit to be had, and we just don't see it. I guess when your house has been weakened so much, weakening everybody else's houses is probably good too.
Mm-hmm.
Levels the playing field. Okay,
you know that old saying, a lowering tide lowers all boats.
There you go.
So while I am interested though in Colette's continued journey to try to reclaim her love, and we get back Harmon and everything, the goal is return Colette to Harmony.
That is your current, yes. That is your current goal.
I will, in that spirit, try to plead with her. While I do not know what fate will befall him a second time in Goblin Lands, I do feel perhaps this is above perhaps all of our heads. If there is a chance for him to escape, he shall do so again, I am certain of it. But for any of us to fight the goblin hordes on his behalf would probably not only be itself foolish, but probably impinge upon his own personal honor. From the time I've known him, there's nothing he would wish more than to defeat every single goblin by himself. And nothing could possibly bring that man more happiness.
Yeah, she just looks incredulous when you're saying this, but as your words sink in, they make a weird kind of sense to her as well. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I do have my doubts in Harmon's capabilities in a situation so dire, but I know that he never has. If there is the slightest chance he will make it out, I'm certain he will find a way.
She's going to touch your arm, good doctor, and say, "Do you truly believe this? Are you just saying this to ease my worries?"
Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't just trying to ease your worries in some regard, but I do believe what I have said. If there is a man who could fight out of hell, not twice, but perhaps 3 times, it is Harmon.
Oh, okay. All right. Colette, she sniffs back. She's starting to tear up a little bit. She wipes her eyes and she apologizes for that show of weakness, but she says,
The doctor will just take a moment to just hold her and said...
She says, "It is truly a blessing in this life to have such good friends as you 3. And she says, "I suppose your quest was to return me safely. And although I can't promise that I won't try again, it would be good to see the Abbey once more, to assure everyone of my well-being and to, take some time to recuperate from my enslavement."
Well, if you should try again, and, meet the same fate as before, I'll be there to try to rescue you again. That I can promise. You're just saying this, with a little aura of silliness. The lower the blow.
Yes, and she can't help but laugh in spite of herself, which seems to improve her overall disposition. She says, "Well, in either case, then, Harmony beckons, and as humbling as it has been walking through these sacred lands, I do miss the sight of the Abbey. So I guess we should be on with it."
Yes, let's return home.
I have a dumb question.
Yeah.
What is the chance while they're all gone, since we're on the outskirts of the Grove, we're not in the Grove proper,
of stealing all the players' equipment?
No. Yeah, that would be a shitty ass turn for me, wouldn't it?
Wow.
Knock out Potter and we take all their stuff. No. Since we're on the outskirts of the Grove and we're not in the Grove proper, as you've already denoted, what are the chances I could raise a gang of irregulars out here?
Oh, man. Well, let's think about it. I can't imagine there's many actual people living in this place. It's the woods. People live in the woods, but not many people. But these are also, wholly protected woods, kind of. Like, even if it's not the grove proper, we've established that this whole sort of region is kind of like, don't go here. Like, although there actually no, because we did say there were villages around here too that have been like vacated mostly, but those people had to have gone somewhere. Yeah, okay. I mean, if you want to try to, I might incur some penalty dice for it, but if you wanted to try to find some irregulars here, we could go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for it. I just thought it would also be funny if they came back and I'm applying seduction on some people.
That would be very...
over top of their own gear.
Yeah, right. That would be very interesting. Just leaning on like the pile of armor, like, yeah, you know.
No, my holy armor is first.
Yep. Killed all these knights myself. One of them was, Alumen. Dink, dink. Sure, let's roll for it. Again, I don't think there's a lot of people out here, so I'm going to roll a d10 penalty die that might make this a very difficult roll.
Or, impossible.
Or impossible. But we'll see. I don't typically roll very well, so let's see what it looks like. Wow. There you go.
Well, not very...
What'd I say? So it'll still be difficulty 3.
Are there any criminals out here?
If there are, they're very ballsy criminals who have no respect for holy law.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they could also just be, what do you call it when you're trying to make up for your life of crime?
Oh, repentant, yeah.
Yeah, they could be, but I could just sway them back in, I thought I was out. Well, they drew me back. I'm trying to make a case for Streetwise.
For Streetwise here, I don't know, man. I don't think this is the right spot for Streetwise.
Seduction plays, though, right?
Sure. You're always going to be sexy, so I can't take that away from you.
Was there any drink in all that supplies that I've been left with?
That's up to your comrades.
No, none of mine.
I guess maybe you're seducing some of the blessed hanging around.
Yeah, I mean, whoever. No, I'm asking, is there any drink in the supplies?
No, there isn't. At least I don't think I do. I got like the noted weed, but that's it.
Is it in the supplies? Never mind. Carousing only works for drinking.
Yeah.
And I don't think fast talk applies because that's less than 5 minutes. All right. I think that's everything. I don't think you can tap nobility for this either.
Probably not. These guys will if they are here, they're probably going to be Doloro or...
Alright, so I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
My god. Okay, so it's like a party of traveling... Yeah, I guess they are... I mean, I guess it's up to you if these are repentant sinners or... They could be lost of Word of Law soldiers.
I guess, they'd have to be one of the one former, not the latter, because you already said Streetwise didn't apply, so I didn't roll it.
There you go. So yeah.
Well, one of those people fell in love with me. Wait, is that one of them? Yep, that's the D12 from seduction. One of them fell in love with me. One of them, Winter, talked into it, and the rest of them just got on with my stories of weal and woe.
I love it. So yeah, when you guys return, you can see that Adris has somehow managed to find a little congregation of travelers there.
Sitting on top of all your supplies, telling stories. I got my feet up on all your precious shit.
I guarantee that Potter
in the middle of the woods. How did you do this?
Potter runs up to you and he's just like, I tried to tell him, that they're just not to engage, tried to drive them off, but I just started gabbing away. And no one's touched any of your stuff though, I can say that much. Except for Adris, who seems to have made a comfy chair.
He was literally sitting on it with his feet propped up. I got the girl on my side. I'm just...
Oh my god.
Look like guys, this shit just happens. This shit just happens.
Well, I guess at least one of us had quite the adventure then.
What happened to you guys?
We're on a mission from God.
You say
but
that,
not your god.
You say that
god.
friggin' every time, Connor.
We have decided to become mailmen. Well,
one of you
except
already is a
Anushka.
mailman.
Anushka was always
mail carriers, thank you.
Yes, of course. But yes,
I think
we are
they're
all mail
called
carriers now.
flight attendants.
Wait, what was that? Out of character?
Which one? We were all talking at the same time.
You.
I said I think they're called flight attendants.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that
Oh,
works.
that's a shame. But yes, I believe our current plan is as it was. We will return to Harmony, and then, I suppose, to War. Where is that actually?
Who? Where?
That is south along the Lake Ob and the river coming from it.
Where are you trying to go? I see
From
like
Harmony to Chalons-sur-Saudre.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It said Avoir. I'm like, oh, is that its town somewhere on the map?
I'm very sorry. No, that's my own abbreviation for the
Avoir de Pas. Yeah.
Okay.
I just fall into when I'm using my notes. I end up having to write like these names 5 or 10 times in a sentence, and they start to get very verbose. So, yes.
Okay.
So yeah, finding the Archduke. The Archduke is going to be in Chalons-sur-Saudre.
I'm certain he will absolutely accept a random group of strangers coming up to him to plead for peace.
Connor,
I think
he knows Connor.
Yeah, Connor. Connor's been in his presence before.
Harmon went to talk to him before, and Connor came with him, so he would know Connor. I mean, assuming that the Archduke remembers the people he's talked to in the past, he could be that kind of, who are you again? Oh, yeah. I know you. Get the cards. I remember you.
Yeah, right. I do recall, I think the first time that you guys ever went to Chalons-sur-Saudre, I feel like Connor went to, I don't know, entreat with the nobles. I don't even remember the cause. This was very early in the campaign. But
he wanted to start war with Triskellion.
There you go, yeah.
I remember I went to see the Archduke, and then Connor had his own stuff that he wanted to do, so we saw the Archduke together. And then Harmon went to see the Archduke like 3 more times after that.
Yeah. Yeah, Harmon became a hero of the Avoir de Pas, essentially. Got sent on a dino-killing mission. But yeah, so, okay. So how do you guys want to get there? You currently will say you can get fast travel.
The Enterprise.
Engage.
Well, yeah, we do still have a line. We can end up kind of getting back onto the main road here for a moment, then do our usual path from Honnet to Harmony.
Cool. Okay.
So to all the monks while we're there.
Doop doop doo. Doop doop doo. Crossing over the North Road. Doop doop doo doo doo. You're not quite to Honnet. When
We are of course low on supplies as always, but you know. At least we all have survival and we're in territory with actual food now.
That is the lifestyle. In fact, when you say low on supplies, are you like out of supplies? Let's see how many days this would be.
Well, I bought myself 12 days of rations. I don't know about anyone else.
I thought we ate those already.
I bought more once we actually arrived in civilization.
Oh, no, I'm actually, I have money, but I don't have food.
Okay. It's been like 3 days of travel. 8 days for... So it's been 3 days since you left the Grove.
Yeah, did we actually negotiate that we're getting paid for this mission?
You're not being paid. You're doing it to help clean Connor's name among the hierarchs.
Well, Connor, your money's still good, right?
Right.
All right, well, so Connor's taking us. Connor is our sponsor.
Yes, Sir Connor, please pay for all of our food.
All right, well, I guess you did cross over the North Road. It's possible that there were trade stands and things where you could barter for more food. But let's figure this out, because I want to know if you guys should be making rolls for
where are we on the map?
Currently, you're between Three Corners Fort and Honnet.
Oh yeah, we're totally. This is a solution road. This is normally well-traveled space, but of course, one of the problems is it's also under hostility. So that's the question of whether we're finding people who cater to travelers, or if everyone's gone to ground.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, although you might not have to, depending on if you still have enough rations. You're less than a day outside of Hanet at this point, so but something's going to happen. But before it does, I want to know if you guys have been eating. That's all.
Yeah.
So.
I've eaten. What kind of rations would Anushka need?
I'm a carnivore.
All right, so Connor will give of what he has for himself for her, and that'll leave me 2 more rations.
You are a generous master.
Okay.
I just can't wait till we get back to civilization because I've got blood in my hair again.
You gotta stop overkilling people with your crazy sword skill and guns.
You had a bath up in Voskis, and then we haven't had a fight all that time.
Oh, that's true.
No, there was that guy I overkilled.
Was that
right? It hasn't been since Voskis.
It's been days since that happened, but
I don't think you've killed anyone since then.
Living in the freaking woods.
It's true.
Yeah, in the woods covered in dirt and grime and sweat is definitely a different problem.
I really, you have to tell me your secret, like how you stay so pleasantly fresh.
Well, you see, all you have to do is dedicate yourself to the light of Sagamere, and then they give you a shower every day.
Look, Doctor, it's just you and me. You can stop fronting. You can tell me what your secret actually is. Because I
thought we were friends.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, man. Okay. All right, so you guys are not starving, but you're running a little bit low on rations. You know that you're less than a day's travel outside of Anet, and that tonight you should be able to sleep in, if not an actual bed, at least sort of a safe haven. And they do have, sleeping arrangements set up, if I'm remembering right. I think Hanet is where the Chandlers are, right? It's sort of the outpost manned with monks. The monkey outpost.
Monkman.
So, you know that they've got bunks, you've stayed there before, and you're looking forward to it. The sky is a gray pall. It has not started to rain yet, but it looks like it might. And you come across what looks like it was at one time a campsite. At first you imagine that this might be a leftover of the war effort, although the front has moved far past this now. You are in a Vordepois controlled domain. However, when you get closer, you can see that some of these tents are still smoldering. They were set ablaze and have not been completely put out. As you get closer, you can smell the rancid, fetid odor of blood and of charred flesh. And you find probably like a patrol unit, maybe 12 or so of Vordepois soldiers, all of whom looked like they were not armed or not in armor, but that they had they all died with swords in hand. And as you're peeking through, you can see that it seems like most of them have died at the hands of javelins. You can even find a couple of them sticking out of bodies, and the craftsmanship and design of these javelins is unmistakable. You've seen them before wielded by the goblin Fian. It's very clear that these were...
so I was going to ask if there's maker's marks on them, and there probably isn't.
Yeah, no, they have... Well, I guess I feel like the javelins, the Fian are sort of like...
If the goblins made them, then any marks they would have put on them would not be identifiable as marks.
Right, yeah. I feel like they have kind of an alien sort of construction.
Yeah.
Right. I suppose, if anything, the looterous threat here is, in fact, very tangible, right?
Right. Now. I mean, I suppose if we look at them, we might find, like, the scratchings that look like, let's say, these little curls, and... Because they write in... the Burla right in Aga, which is that kind of script that goes left to right and right to left and has cross lines in it. So it wouldn't look like lettering to us.
That's very cool.
Any marks or sigils they would have wouldn't make any sense to us, because you guys know what maker's marks are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and if you're doing it for war, you want to get paid and all that kind of stuff. So no, they're not fooling around.
Yeah. So you're going through. You've seen they've definitely been attacked, and then you hear a groan coming from underneath one of these bodies of a rather large horse. You hear a groan and a coughing, and a weak voice says, "Help! Help! Someone! Is anyone there?"
I shove the doctor that way.
On one hand, the last time that this happened, it was a terrible, horrible trap in which they intended to trap and kill us all within the barn. But yet, my heart calls out for those in pain and suffering, and I must go investigate myself.
I'll go with you. I know no fear.
I feel much better with you beside me.
Okay, roll for initiative.
No, okay.
You're good, Okay.
I will call out, hello, where are you? Please keep speaking. I will find you shortly.
All right, yes. He does let out coughs and shouts to the best of his ability, and as you approach, you can see that lying, pinned under the body of one of these large dead horse soldiers, there is a diminutive man, a gray fox, who looks to be rather old, and he has been pinned. His lower body is pinned under the weight of this horse, who is dead. And you can see that there's blood in his fur, and it's quite clear that he's been injured. And he says, "Oh, are you a doctor? Oh, thank the light."
That I am. I'm here to help. Let's see if we can get these men off of you first. And I imagine it's like you just slide one off the top and then the next. It shouldn't be a hard task.
Yeah, anyone who fit enough could have pushed this individual off himself. But as you approach, you realize that this gray fox is rather old, and it looks like he has suffered injuries in the battle as well. It looks like he has blood. One of his legs has certainly been crushed by this individual, and you can see that he has blood over his torso as well.
I can definitely patch this all up, but you should definitely be glad we are close to a monastery here.
Yes, I was on my way north to the abbey. You know it? Gods, the light. I did not think that I would live to see it, but obviously my cause is just, for the light has sent you to me. Please help me up.
Of course. Here, let me say a small prayer for you to help. I don't think piety applies to healing, so I don't need to ask it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking through, the text I have here. Yeah, so...
What do you... Piety applies to flesh ward? Is that what you use it for?
Yeah, it applies to flesh ward, but not to healing.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Healing is just its own thing, and... he's definitely going to start making a miraculous recovery. He still gets to roll his will. If he's sick, it'll matter. If he's not, he's healed of his injuries.
Okay. Let's see. He's going to roll a d8 for will.
Yeah, he's almost definitely, sick is the lingering condition. No one here plays Pillars of Eternity, right?
No.
Okay, Arclight, what's the condition in Pillars of Eternity where you almost die but don't, so they apply a debuff to you?
I don't remember what it's called, but it basically, they let you go through your endurance, which is your physical health, once, and then if you get picked up after that, then if you go through it again, then you die permanently.
Well, right, because I feel validated about this. Normally in D&D, it's fine or dead. You run out of hit points, it's okay, we just raise you. In Ironclaw, sick is basically the condition of you almost died. So almost anybody in the game who almost died is almost definitely sick.
This guy definitely counts as someone who almost died, so he is sick as well.
He almost definitely needs to roll his will.
I mean,
He's made a miraculous recovery. Praise the light.
Well, here we go.
This old man is completely healed of his injuries and sickness.
Yep, nice. That was deliberately put in the rules so you would have. We got so injured, we got sick from our fight. We had to go find a doctor. Because it's one of the things that always bugs me. It's like, well, we hurt them really bad. Maybe they'll need to go find a doctor. No, they won't.